Let's move over to Ohio. Alan, you didn't really have to cover Michigan much when it came to Ohio recruiting, right? It seems like that's changing in this cycle.
It's changed a lot. Yeah, for a minute I felt like I wasn't talking to you enough. Like they're going overseas more than guys from Germany more than they are in my own region. But that's definitely changed. I do think that having some of the staff changes, Steve Klinkscale, Ohio native, big part of that. And I think whenever Michigan's gone into Ohio, they've had success. And now you get the ball rolling again. So I don't think this is going to be a one-year aberration, but I do think that they found some good players in this class. And if those guys turn out to be what we think they're going to be, then they're going to keep going after this type of player in that state.
All right, so let's break down the guys individually. 4 in this class from the state of Ohio. Let's start out with Breon Ismail from Princeton High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Where do you think he fits in positionally for the Maize and Blue?
Yeah, so when we first saw him, he was really playing more wide receiver. I think we saw him at an Under Armour camp pretty early on, and he was running around catching passes. Has always had some height and some length to him. Just wasn't sure where he fit in. He filled in the last couple of years and then transferred schools to Princeton and had a really good senior year. I think this is where you really saw him blossom. He was able to add the weight. I think he focused more on the defensive side of the ball. They used him, I think, in some creative ways. He's played middle linebacker. He's played some Sam. You see him stand up on the outside of the line and rush off the edge. I think he can do all of those things. Ultimately, I think he's probably an edge rusher. I think you're probably looking at a Jalen Harrell kind of guy out of high school. But I think he gives you some options because now he has that experience. Was surprised to turn on the film and see him playing some Mike. And so I think they're going to get him on campus and just figure out what best to do with him. But he's a guy who, again, when you talk about trajectory and other guys in this class who have steadily improved throughout their high school career, I thought his senior season was a big jump. And that's why you saw schools like Michigan enter the picture a little bit later.
All right. A guy I'm really intrigued by, Alan, you talk about this kid is going to be an early enrollee, which I think is huge for his development because the one thing that I wonder about with Cam Calhoun is about his size when it comes to his ability to be a contributor as a freshman. But getting in early, that gives him some time to pack on some muscle. And, you add 10, 15 pounds suddenly, I'm looking at Cam Calhoun as a guy who could be a contributor as a freshman.
Yeah, I think that is probably the only missing piece, as you mentioned. But he's got the frame. I've seen him in person. He's got the ability to add that weight. I think he'll do it. Don't know how soon, but definitely a really, really good player and another guy who really kicked it up a notch as a senior. 14 career interceptions, which is a school record at Winton Woods. Actually started out his high school career as a wide receiver. And so you see some of those ball skills. And he didn't just intercept passes. He ran several back for touchdowns this past season. And when you look at the mold of corner that Michigan's tended to like, another guy with some length and some height and some size. And but I think those ball skills and those anticipatory skills to get his hands on that many passes over the last couple of years is what really makes him special.
Yeah, man. You watch his film, Alan. He is such a high IQ player. It jumps off the screen. You can tell this route recognition, clearly understands where his help is and coverage. You see him make plays on the ball that it's textbook, man. This guy studies film, right? So that's another reason why I think if he adds the weight, that dude, you're going to see him on the football field as a freshman. From an athleticism standpoint, one of the best athletes in this class, Alan, Jason Hewlett from Cheney High School in Youngstown.
Yeah, I think you could maybe make the argument that he has the most upside of anybody in this class. I think certainly he's up there when you talk about guys who have the most upside in this class because you just don't see 6'4", 220 pounds doing the things that he does. He returns punts, he returns kicks. He played quarterback when they needed him to play quarterback. He played receiver. And he's not just playing those positions. I mean, he's housing kick and punt returns, and he's catching deep balls on offense. And then he's, running through people on the offense or on the defensive side of the ball. So he could play anything. I mean, at that size, he can be a hybrid safety. I think Cincinnati, that's what they were planning on when he was committed there. Now you look at Michigan, and he's also grown bigger in the last couple years. And so that projection has now changed to probably more of a true linebacker. I can't tell you he won't play some edge. But just you take the biggest, strongest, fastest athletes you can find and figure out what to do with them from there. And I think he is he was a clear guy that needed to move into the 4-star range for us as we watch the senior film.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where he winds up. We're going to have Jason Hewlett on our special live show this afternoon between 5 and 7. So be sure to tune in for that. His teammate, Ed Chaney. This one got a little intriguing down the stretch, Alan, with Kentucky really rising up as a formidable foe for DeJuan Waller. So kind of take me through how things, wound up down the stretch in Michigan's favor. And then this is another guy, kind of like Breon Ismail, where you could project at a few different spots, and it's seeming like Michigan is looking at him at corner.
So when he first came on the radar, I mean, he had only 1 or 2 MAC offers, and he committed to Toledo pretty early on, and then other schools started to kick the tires on him as a senior. He took an official to West Virginia, thought that might be where he ended up, and then Michigan and Kentucky jumped into the picture, and that's where things really ramped up. Michigan built a good relationship with him. Clinkscale is a Chaney grad, and then once they got Jason Hewlett in the fold, I thought that they would get DJ. I think he may have also been throwing the scent off the trail a little bit with some of the Kentucky talk, but Kentucky does a good job in Ohio, and Vince Marrow does a good job in Ohio. So I think he had some real interest there also, but hard for him to not go to Michigan with his teammate and somebody who he trains with, and Hewlett coming to Michigan and Klink doing the recruiting job and being a Youngstown native. And they're going to give him a chance at corner, and he is big. Now, this is another big, long guy, 6'3", 190 pounds, plays on the basketball team with Jason. Very, very good athlete. I don't even know that his film does full justice to what kind of athlete he is. I think you have to watch some of the training video and some of the basketball clips to get a full appreciation for that. I think the question about corner is just what's his long speed, what's his recovery speed. But certainly you love this kind of guy because if that doesn't work out, there's almost an unlimited number of other things that he could do positionally.